just Big 12 basketball at its best. Every single night, it's a fight. Like I said, you have terrific coaches, terrific talent on the floor, amazing environments. I thought our environment was huge tonight in helping us win this game. I thought our student section was amazing, and just the energy that was in the building. And that's how it has to be, because that's when we go on the road, that's how it looks every single time. So really excited, for our win. We beat a very good basketball team, easily a team that could be easily 3-0. And so, I'm proud of our guys for the effort they showed and how hard they played, and definitely for the poise they had coming down the stretch of the basketball game.
Coach, just going to talk us through that final shot from Themis, just what he was able to do. I know the Cincinnati's guards were playing him tough all night for him to hit that floater and the game winner.
Themis is the winner. He's done that multiple times this season for us. He just gives you what you need to have out there, and that's the sign of a really good point guard. He knows when and when not to do certain things. He's grown in that role for us and understanding what we want. And I'm just proud of him for, stepping up at that time and making that play. And so, yes, I'm just excited for him. Not only that, 12 assists, 3 turns. He just does a lot of things on the court that affect winning.
Coach, talk about your defensive strategy on the last possession of the game.
The last possession, they have terrific players out there, and so a lot of weapons. So we wanted to make sure that we played man, and we wanted to try to pick up in our man and try to keep them in front as best we could. It was only a 1-point game, and so we wanted to try to really guard your yard as well as we could, which means keep guys in front, and basically try to contest whatever shot that's being taken at that time.
Coach, obviously Mustafa Chiam returns back to UCF for this one. What was it like seeing him play through the booze? We saw you embrace pregame. What did you think of his game and how he played through that adversity?
He's a terrific young man, and for him to come in this environment and have, I think, probably his best performance of the year, speaks volumes on how talented the young man is. We've seen that every day in practice, so we saw, what his potential is, what he's capable of doing. But I was proud of our guys. I was proud of guys like Jeremy, who, had an opportunity to compete against them today, and I thought Jeremy had a very good game for us as well.
Coach, when we were talking to Themis, you mentioned that you end up getting in a bit of a tough spot with Jordan getting 2 fouls right away there. Just what was going through your mind there seeing him do that, and how do you strategize with that when that happens?
Well, it's all teachable moments for us. Some of these young men are playing more minutes than they've played in their careers in college. And so through, 15 games or so, there's still a lot of things they can learn. Like, he'll learn from this game, we'll learn from this game as a team. Picking up 2 fouls as early as he did was tough, because now you're sitting out, for the most part, depending on, who you are, you're sitting out pretty much the whole rest of the half. I have to make a decision. Do I bring you back and let you play with 2? He's not an experienced player, so I didn't think that would be the best thing for us to do. He may have picked up his 3rd, so we just went on and sat him for the half. And he came back in the second half. He was fine up until picking up another foul. And then we had guys like Chris Johnson who was coming in, and they were really, giving us a lift at different times in the second half. So we went with the guys who were, at that time, I think, playing at a level, that we could use to kind of finish out the game with. And I thought Chris Johnson was terrific for us in the role that we had him in.
Coach Riley Kugel, talk a little bit about his abilities tonight what it felt like when Cincinnati gained the momentum. He was almost repeatedly, immediately to put that back in your favor.
Well, he's one of our senior leaders, and he's one of the guys we go to. And he's been terrific for us through most of the season, just making plays, whatever the plays that are in front of him, making the plays to score it. He's a willing passer. He just tries to do whatever he can to help you win, to affect winning. And I thought he did. I thought he made some plays for us both first half and second half that really helped set a tone for us and what we wanted to do on the offensive end.
You mentioned Jeremy there a little bit. How important were the play of JaMychal and Jeremy, especially on the interior? I know Mustafa still kind of got his points, but it felt like they did a good job controlling the glass and sort of challenging him or challenging Tiam in the right ways.
I thought they both did a good job. He got it going. A player like that gets it going. He has really good touch. He's a skilled big guy. And so the thing you want to do is you just want to make it as difficult as possible. And on your end, you want to make sure you stay aggressive and not lose sight of the fact that, you're a good player also. And so Jeremy, I thought he did a great job of, when we drop balls off to him or he got the ball in the paint of making his plays. Like a lot of times you can get so caught up with what the other players doing, scoring the basketball, that you lose sight of your abilities. And I thought he did a great job of staying focused.
Is there an update on John? John, I know he took a really hard fall there early in the first half. Seemed like he was still kind of
Yeah, it was a
flexing and
tough
working
fall.
on it. Like, is there an update on him or?
No update as of yet. I'm sure he's probably with the trainer, and we're seeing, how he's going to do. But, John's tough. He's a competitor. I know he wants to be out there. So, hopefully, he can continue to recover prior to our next game.
On the same note, Carmelo Pacheco didn't play today. What kept him out?
He was sick. He had a bug. We've had some guys, whether it's flu or different type of bugs that have been going around. Wasn't sure if he would be able to go. He was, wasn't sure. He's feeling better, but through the warm-ups and stuff this morning, you could tell, maybe he's not quite there yet, and so it's better to make sure we're safe and the young man is healthy than to try to put him out there, and because they want to be out there, but you don't want someone to get out there and they're not right. It's too dangerous.
And Coach, despite Mustafa's big game, you guys were able to have more points in the paint and more total rebounds. Just how pleased have you been, just kind of in general, with the team's play on the interior so far this season?
I've been really happy with our guys' overall growth, on the interior. You talking about, that's a big front line that they had, probably one of the biggest front lines we faced all season. And for us to, win the rebounding battle is significant, and that's a big part of this game. And so, no, absolutely. We have some guys like Stillwell. He's going to battle. Jeremy gave us a huge lift in there. Devin Cambridge does a really good job, when he's in rebounding the basketball as well. So we have guys that are active on the boards, but they'll rebound, a really good, and long basketball team today.
Coach Miller said that your team could all be starters. And Chris Johnson, when he came in for Riley Kugel in that first half, he came out, scored a big-time three, and then also got a steal there. How could you evaluate his game today?
I thought Chris did a really good job for us. He's growing into his role. These guys are all learning to play together. They're learning to play their role. And that's a challenge because they all come from a different place and they were all allowed to do different things where they were. So just really happy that he's getting more and more comfortable in the role that we have him in. He's definitely helping us. And I think his best basketball is still ahead of him because I've seen enough times in practice what he's capable of doing. So it's just a function of him just getting games under his belt, understanding, the competitiveness of this league and preparing that way. And I think he can continue to help us as we go forward.
On a similar note, Coach, you've talked about how important depth is for your squad. They're outscored the bench since he's benched 24-9. Just what's it like to kind of see what you preach really put into practice out there today?
Well, we talked about it before. Our strength being in our numbers, and that's what we believe with our team. That's the kind of the team that I really want to coach. And so, like I said, I would do it as long as we're capable of doing it and as long as guys are producing, then we were going to stick to that, and we have. And so, our guys have, they've earned that, and we believe in them. And so I'm glad to see them making those contributions that you saw today.
I'm sorry if you've already answered this, but I know you'd rather have him in your uniform, but do you see Mustafa as improved?
No, Mustafa's going to be a terrific player. I think he's going to continue to get better as he starts to gain more experience as a player. He's a sophomore, and he's a developing sophomore. But he has enormous potential, and it's just a function of him going in on it every day working and every game, learning from each one of those experiences. And then you'll see a player that, has a chance to be an NBA player.
Now you've got to go on the road again, Kansas State. What do you know about what's the early scouting report on the Wildcats?
Haven't seen Kansas State play yet. You know me, I'm always just one game at a time. So if one of our opponents hadn't played them, I really don't have a chance to take a look at them. But I'm looking forward to scouting them. I know that, again, terrific, well coached, a lot of talent, and it's going to be another great environment. So we have to make sure we prepare that way. I'm looking forward to seeing them, as I mentioned. I'll start watching them, as soon as possible.
Couple more.
Coach, you held Cincinnati to just 3 made threes in the game. Was that kind of great defense on your part or poor shooting on their part or some both?
Well, I always, tell everyone, I think it's usually a combination. I like to give the other team credit when they defend us well as well. And I think we defended some things well. And they missed some shots as well. They missed some shots that they probably normally hit. So it's probably a combination, a bit of both. Usually, like I said, you always want to give that team credit that's defending because they did have a game plan going into it, and we had a game plan, and I think we executed most of it.
Considering you had a former player, Mustafa, coming back, did the environment in the arena feel a little bit different out there today? I know y'all got the home crowd back there behind you, but was it a little different out there today?
Definitely. I thought it was definitely was a little bit different one. Every time Mustafa got the basketball, the crowd got louder, that's something that was different. But also having our students and everyone back now from the Christmas break, and so that was very important for us because our last outing, when we played our first game at conference play, I could tell the difference, that we, as great an environment as it was, I knew it could be better. And tonight, of course, it showed, when our student section is like it was, I mean, it just gives us a huge advantage out there on the floor. So I just always want to just give them kudos and thank them for coming out and please continue to come out because, you're our sixth man.
Johnny, Wes talked a little bit about this just before you came in about, with the transfer portal and everything, how this all seems kind of, it's such a challenge. A kid can bounce from one school to another. It's a shame the kid gets booed because he played here last year, and they're going to face 3 guys that played on their team before. How challenging is that when you see this, what's happening right now with players with players moving around like that and dealing with these kind of things?
Well, I think you still want your fans to be engaged. I understand what Wes is talking about for sure, but you want your fans to make it. Just makes for fun for everyone in the environment. You can make whatever decision. I've said that before. I'm happy for Mustafa. I'm happy for Mamadou and their families. Obviously, I'm happy for them. I mean, we've gone to almost a professional sport model. So, what do we expect? I mean, this is like professional sports. Guys are going to move now. It's no longer where guys are going to stay, based on the opportunities and what they're being offered in other places. So, with that, you have to be, somewhat understanding. You can be disappointed about it, but you also have to understand that these guys want to feed their families and they want opportunities to, to do other things. But the fans, though, should definitely, as they did tonight, and I'm sure we'll face that too with guys that coming to play for us. I'm sure the fans, they should. I mean, that's part of the energy that you have in college sports. I mean, I hope we don't get to the point where we're totally professional sports. Some of these things, are great spirits for our game, and so no, I like I said, I definitely agree with Wes on a lot of it, but just born a player that left the program, I mean. I didn't think that was harmful. Now, if you're saying all kind of, derogatory things, that's a whole other story. But just booing and turning up the noise, the volume, it's not the worst thing.
Did you get booed a lot in North Carolina, maybe?
Absolutely, and worse, and worse. I got the other stuff too.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, John. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Johnny. All right, you guys are welcome.
Chris Johnson, when you guys are ready.
Themis, can you just talk about that last shot that you made, the game winner? You guys, go down and you got the ball. Just kind of what's going through your mind, and just talk us through that final play.
I feel like Cincinnati did a good job trying to get the ball out of my hands, so I was more distributing today. And, I really got a clean look, and I didn't really get too many clean looks because they were doing a good job of keeping 2 on the ball. And I just trust my work. I know my teammates believe in that shot as well, and it felt good. It just went in.
Themis, kind of on that note, did you go into that possession knowing that you're going to attack the rim, or just kind of took what the defense gave you?
Take what the defense gives. You predetermined sometimes, and that's when you mess up and just do uncharacteristic things. Defense just gave me an open look, and I took advantage of it.
And then the last shot for Cincinnati on the opposite end, it looked like it was going in for about half a second there. What was going through your guys' mind? I see Chris shaking his head.
Shoot, I just was hoping it ain't go in. That's really all it was.
Man, I'm under the basket. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, it look like it's about to go in. But then it went in and out. I'm like, all right, game good. Yeah.
Chris, with Carmelo out, you ended up getting some extended minutes tonight. Just what were you seeing out there on the court? What's it like to get some more minutes out there tonight?
Shoot, it's great. We do miss Melo for sure, but it's just next man up. So I really didn't look at it at any other way other than just go out there and just play my game and trust my teammates, and that's what we did.
Coach Miller was talking a little bit about how one play where you managed to evade a defender getting into the corner there. Just what were you seeing on that play and able to?
Which play? Which play you talking about?
With Kyrie.
You talking about the layup?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, just playing off instincts. I mean, I'm not really doing too much thinking. Like, it was just like, okay, I'm going to go this way, he went that way and I just went the other way. Like it wasn't too much. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a flow state, I guess.
You guys were able to hear the boos for Mustafa out there tonight. I mean, what was it like playing on the court against him?
You know, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? I've never personally experienced something like that. So he's a great player, though. Great player, fun to play against, and I wish him nothing but the best.
You guys have had 2 close games here in Big 12 play where they're both at home. How much does it help being at home in clutch moments like these?
It helps a lot, man. The home crowd, it was a great crowd. It was a great crowd today, and it helps a lot when you got that battery in your back, knowing that everybody's rooting for you.
The thing that jumps off the stat sheet at me is 15 for 23 from the floor in the second half. What did you guys see that allowed you to shoot such a high percentage?
Just getting downhill. They really didn't have any strong bigs, so we kind of figured that we would get what we want. And then once they went zone, and we hit JaMychal Stillwell in the middle of the zone, and they switched the guard on him. You know what I'm saying? We just took what the defense gave us.
Themis, you've been around JaMychal for a long time. What do you say? What do you say when you kind of see him do the work that he did? Kind of that in between post game, and how important are the contributions from him, from Jeremy to kind of help, especially with John out for so long in this game?
I mean, our bigs know how important they are. We can't do but so much. They're the interior. They're the enforcer. We try to give them as much confidence, and also it opens us up. If J-Mike was really efficient. He was over 50% from the field today. And if he don't make them shots, Chris don't get them open shots in the corner for threes. Riley don't get all the way to the basket because, they're trying to lock in on us. So they know how important they are. Jeremy almost had a double-double. And, I think teams just have to keep picking their poison. Like, what do you want us to do?
Jordan was taken off the court for a while there in the first half with the foul trouble. After last game where he had trouble shooting, what is the difference between maybe somebody getting off the court and dealing with that versus when they're on the court but struggling?
You got it.
I mean, at the end of the day, JB just trying to win. He had a tough shooting night versus Oklahoma State. Cool. Next game, we watch film, we flush it. And in this game, he just had 2 early fouls that really, hurt him. He picked up 2 fouls, 18 minutes left in the first half. It put Coach in a tough spot. But at the end of the day, we want him to be aggressive. We want him to keep trying to make winning plays and just keep helping the team how he been helping the team.
Time for a few more.
The last defensive possession, you guys had a smaller lineup out there. They've got Baba Miller, they've got Mustafa Cham. How did you guys deny them the paint and make sure that they didn't finish at the basket?
The game plan for that was just switch everything. We knew those 5 guys would go out there and switch everything and fight, and that's what we did.
You guys know how tough every game is in the Big 12. Coming off a road loss, how important was it to protect home court and win tonight?
I feel like it was a must-win. We feel like we have a good enough team to win the Big 12, and we can't keep saying it. We got to lead by action. So we got to win games like this. We got to take care of home court, and it's just one game. So after tonight, we're really not going to be thinking too much on Cincinnati until we play them again. So it's on to the next.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.